Good evening to you. We were seeing invalid pension. Today, a compulsory retirement pension. Compulsory retirement is a major penalty which is resorted to when the penalty of removal or dismissal is considered too harsh because they forfeit pension. The authority competent to impose that penalty may grant pension or gratuity or both at a rate not less than 2/3 of normal pension. Compulsory retirement is one of the major penalties. The next two penalties, removal and dismissal. If these punishments are imposed, then the pension is forfeited. So that will be too harsh in considering taking that stand. This compulsory retirement pension, it is almost a normal pension. There is no difficulty at all because only the rate is less, otherwise no blemish. So when a person has to be removed, the compulsory retirement is the least one they can do. So once this compulsory retirement is ordered, that penalty is imposed, then the order, the penalizing authority, the authority who is imposing that penalty of compulsory retirement, simultaneously can order sanction of pension as well as gratuity at 2/3, that is not less than 2/3 of normal pension. In the case the President of India passes an order awarding a pension less than the full superannuation pension admissible under these rules, the UPSC shall be consulted before such an order is passed. Suppose aisa penalty diya jata hai, then it is mandatory that the UPSC is consulted. Here, for the purpose of compulsory retirement pension, if you use the word pension, that includes gratuity also. The order regarding the quantum of pension and gratuity granted under this sub rule above may be issued simultaneous with the order of imposition of penalty of compulsory retirement. जब penalty order दिया जाता है उसी time पर ये order for pension, whatever quantum they want to give, that should also be issued. अगर ऐसा नहीं होता है, if the order is not issued when imposing penalty, a provisional pension and a provisional gratuity at a rate of 2/3 of full superannuation pension and gratuity shall be sanctioned to the government servant immediately. In case penalty order issue करने के समय, the quantum of pension, that is compulsory retirement pension, as well as gratuity, that order has to be issued. Suppose it is not issued, then there should be an order sanctioning provisional pension and provisional gratuity. Where provisional pension gratuity is sanctioned, order granting final pension gratuity shall be issued in consultation with UPSC where necessary, not later than 3 months after the date of issue of order imposing penalty of compulsory retirement, and the provisional pension shall continue to be paid till the payment of final pension. Suppose that penalty order is issued, but the pension order is not issued, then provisional pension has to be issued. That order should be issued within 3 months from the date of issue of penalty order. It should not also be less than the minimum pension 9,000 rupees. जो भी pension है, including the family pension, all pensions, the minimum amount is 9,000 rupees. Compassionate allowance. A government servant who is dismissed or removed from service forfeits his retirement benefits. Suppose somebody is dismissed or removed from service, he forfeits retirement benefits. But in cases deserving special consideration, the authority competent to dismiss the official from service may sanction compassionate allowance not exceeding 2/3 of pension and gratuity or both, which would have been admissible to him had he retired on superannuation. जब dismiss premature retirement, a specific period is there. 3 साल complete करने के बाद it is a different footing. That is, it is not a penalty. This is a penalty. This is the main difference. This is a penalty that is not. Then, in case of premature retirement, you get full pension. Whatever is calculated as per Rule 44, you will get full pension. Whereas compulsory retirement, only 2/3. Only 2/3 of pension admissible in the normal case. उतना ही मिलेगा. A government servant dismissed, then that automatically compulsory retirement में penalty order के साथ the payment of pension order has also to be issued. Whereas this dismissal में there is no such thing. Even if there is compassion, that need not be automatic. Either the official should plead, तो मेरे को dismiss किया गया है, so I may at least be granted compassionate allowance. कैसे चलाऊं घर? तो ऐसा अप्लाई करना चाहिए. Otherwise, the authority who is imposing the penalty may, on his own, can grant compassionate allowance. May sanction compassionate allowance not exceeding 2/3. Here too, जैसे compulsory retirement pension 2/3 तक होता है, इसी तरह 2/3 of pension or gratuity or both, which would have been admissible. अगर normal retirement में होने से कितना pension मिलना था, उसमें 2/3 इनको sanction compassionate allowance का नाम पर ये sanction कर सकते हैं. Actually, this nomenclature is deceptive. It's not at all an allowance. It is a full-fledged pension. इसको commute भी कर सकते हैं. So this is a pension, but the name given is because he is not eligible. A person who is dismissed is not eligible for pensioner benefit. He forfeits all. So it is out of compulsion, compassion. It is given. That is why it is compassionate allowance. It could have been better if they had mentioned compassionate pension. Here, compassionate allowance means it is otherwise a full-fledged pension. Commutation of a fraction of compassionate allowance is also permissible. The competent authority shall either on his own or on consideration of representation of official concerned take a decision whether to grant compassionate allowance not later than 3 months after the date of issue of order of penalty. Penalty order for dismissal has been issued. उस दिन से 3 महीने का अंदर ये डिसाइड करना चाहिए whether this fellow can be granted compassionate allowance or not. The authority on his own can grant, or he may wait for the application for the official dismissed. On the basis of that application, it can be granted. The competent authority shall consider: 1. Each case of dismissal or removal on its merit, whether it deserves a special consideration for sanction of compassionate allowance, and if so, the quantum thereof. The competent authority has to consider whether it is necessary to grant, whether it is a fit case for grant of compassionate allowance. If yes, then how much could be sanctioned? Then next, the actual misconduct resulting in dismissal, removal, and also the kind of service rendered by the official. इस समय तक जैसे ये पेनल्टी इशू हुआ है, इस समय तक थ्रू आउट द सर्विस कैरियर उसका सर्विस कैसा था, ये भी देखना है. एंड what is the misconduct and the gravity of that misconduct, ये क्या है, that also has to be considered. Both the entire service में कोई भी blemish नहीं था, अभी तक his behavior was all right, but at last this case came and in that he was found guilty, and throughout his service was good in that has to be taken into consideration. In exceptional cases, the factors like family members dependent on the official and other relevant factors. हम ये सोच रहे थे, this is the main criteria, that is the family condition, dependent members of the family who are dependent on the official who is being dismissed. ये सब important होगा नहीं. The last thing, where an order of penalty of dismissal or removal was issued before commencement of these rules. Before commencement of these rules, इसका मतलब क्या है? That is 1972 में आया था ये. तो उससे पहले, where an order of penalty of dismissal or removal was issued before the commencement of these rules, and as a consequence did not decide whether or not a compassionate allowance was to be granted, such authority shall take a decision in this regard not till the. अभी this is irrelevant actually. ये पुराना बात है. जब ये रूल बनाया था उस समय के बात है ये. No compassionate allowance shall be sanctioned after the above period of 6 months. Then this should not be less than, again, for all categories of pension, 9,000 rupees should be the minimum. Then comes family pension. This is granted to the family of a government servant in the event of his death while in service or after retirement. कोई सर्विस ज्वाइन करने के बाद, originally the period was 1 year. That is, after completion of 1 year, if a government servant dies, ऐसा था. So 1 year period that is dispensed. Now, suppose a person gets appointment order appointing him to one of the posts in central government. He goes to the medical authority, he gets a fitness certificate, he comes and reports for duty. उस दिन 10-15 आदमी ज्वाइन करते हैं, इसको बोलते हैं, इसके ज्वाइनिंग रिपोर्ट देने के बाद उधर बैठिए, इधर बैठिए, सब लोगों को बिठाया जा रहा है. Then he goes, sits there, collapses. He gave joining report, he gave with the medical fitness certificate. Then he goes and sits there, he collapses, he dies. Then also his family will get the family pension, because the day of death is a duty. The day or date of death should be treated as duty. Then in that case, he has reported. So he has become employee, he dies, then his family is entitled for. So iska issa hai, he has joined. So immediately one pay fixation order will be issued. As on date, he has become employee, one pay fixation order. On the basis, the pension payment order, family pension order. All these things will happen. So even if he serves 1 day and he dies, then his family is entitled for family pension, 1. Number 2, if a government servant retires, thereafter he dies, then also his family will get family pension. But it is not automatic. It's not automatic. A government servant retires and he gets pension. Now, he should not be called a government servant, retired government servant. We should not call, because we are writing examination. We should not say a retired government servant will, if he dies, his family will get family pension. That is not correct. We should say that a pensioner dies, then his family will get family pension. इसका मतलब क्या है? Suppose a government servant has retired, putting less than 10 years service. इसका मतलब after retirement, in such cases, he is not entitled for pension. So he is a retired government servant, but not in receipt of any kind of pension or compassionate allowance. In that case, his family will not get. A government servant who is retired, but not in receipt of any sort of pension, any kind of pension, not even compassionate allowance. In that case, if he dies, his family will not get any family pension. That is that. This is granted to the family of a government servant in the event of his death while in service or after retirement, that is pensioner. This was introduced from 1964. Under this scheme, if a government servant who has been medically found fit to join duty serves for a day and then dies, his family is entitled for family pension. In case the death occurs after the date of retirement, he should have been receiving pension or compassionate allowance on the date of death. The requirement of minimum service of 1 year has been dispensed with. It is paid during the lifetime of the spouse and then passes on to children according to the age up to 25 years. Once the government servant dies, his or her spouse will get family pension. So if when the government servant dies, retires, then in the pension payment order, it is mentioned, suppose the spouse is alive, then the pension payment order, it is pension in his name. The official who is retiring, the pension order will be in the name of the government servant. But there will be a mention that in case of death of this pensioner, family pension will be paid to the Mrs. or wife or whatever it is, spouse. Her or his name will be there. So pension payment order, normal retirement case में भी family pension का जिक्र होता है. In case of death of this person after retirement, then the family pension will be paid to this spouse. So that will be mentioned in the pension payment order. The retirement, the requirement of minimum service 1 year, it is paid during the lifetime. Suppose a male government servant dies, his wife will start getting family pension. And in case the wife dies, then the children will start getting family pension. Suppose the wife predeceased the government servant, then when the government servant dies, then their children will start getting, whether it is male or female, the children will start getting family pension as per their age. So उसमें 2 बच्चे के लिए मिलेगा, 4 बच्चे के लिए, ऐसा नहीं है. All the children are entitled for family pension one by one. First child will start getting a family pension and it will get up to 25 years. Or spouse will get the same amount of pension. No, there is a separate rate of family pension. So that will come. But death ke liye special rate is there, enhanced rate. That will come to what you say. It should not be told. It should not be told that they will get the spouse will get the same amount. ऐसा नहीं बोलना चाहिए. They will get only, the family pension is only 30%. Real pension, the retirement pension is 50%. तो 30% मिलेगा, लेकिन डेथ का केस में, in the case of death, then they will get enhanced family pension. That can be up to 50%. Then they will get the equal amount, as you say. The family, there was a question. The government servant died and he left behind 4 children, and the wife was not there. She already died. So the first child was a female. The pension sanctioning authority refused to give pensionary benefit to that girl, telling that she is a female and she is not entitled, only to the boy it should be given. So it is incorrect. ऐसा कुछ रूल नहीं है, boy or girl, बच्चे सबको मिलेगा according to age. The family pension is payable to widow or widower till death or remarriage, whichever is earlier. Lifetime को मिलेगा, spouse को lifetime को मिलेगा. Suppose spouse is hale and healthy, husband, the male government servant died, his wife starts receiving family pension. She she is entitled to receive the family pension till lifetime. So bache one by one, the children are completing 25 years one by one. All the 3 or 4 children all have completed 25 years, but the family pension will be paid only to the spouse. In case of childless widow, suppose the widow, the government servant, male government servant, but he died, and the wife, that is the spouse, she gets remarried, then also she will get, if she doesn't have a child. In case of childless widow, family pension is payable even after remarriage till she gets an independent income of 9,000 rupees or more. In the case of unmarried son or daughter, it is payable till they get married or attain the age of 25 years of, or start earning a sum of rupees 9,000 or more, whichever is earlier. एक तो 25 साल तक मिलेगा, उससे पहले शादी हो गया उस समय तक मिलेगा. That यार in their independent income becomes 9,000 rupees. Then up to then they will get whichever is happening earlier. With effect from 1198, widowed, divorced daughters will get family pension for life. That new rule has come that widowed or divorced daughters, they will get this family pension throughout their lifetime. That is, in case there is no other dependent person to, suppose the wife is alive, male government servant dies, wife is alive, she starts getting family pension, but there happens to be a widowed daughter, then she will not get. Only wife will get. Dependent parents are also made eligible for grant of family pension. Pale nahi tha, now the parents are also entitled. This is payable to only one person at a time unless the deceased has left behind more than one widow. At a time, only one person is entitled to receive family pension. But if they are having that person left behind more than one wife, that is legal. If he is a Hindu, according to Hindu Marriage Act 1955, he cannot have more than one wife. वो नौकरी में ही रह नहीं सकता है. Suppose he belongs to the other religion and he gets a permission for having more than one wife, and the government will give permission because of a personal law. It will give, and once they get permission and they marry, and the deceased government servant left behind 2 or more than one wife, that could be 3. So in that case, those ladies will get family pension. One widow and children through a deceased, one widow and children through deceased widow. दो पहले एक बीवी थी, मर गई, लेकिन उसके बच्चे हैं. Second, there is a second wife. So the one wife and children of another wife. So both will be treated as separate branch and they will get 50%, all the children, 50%, the wife without children, with or without children. Leaves behind a widow, no widow, but twin children. Suppose a government servant man dies and he leaves behind no wife, but a twin children. In that case also, the pension will be divided among these 2 children. Not one has to complete 25 years. ये तो नहीं हो सकता, दोनों एक साथ 25 years complete करेगा. इसलिए the children will be given 50% one child, the 50% are the other child, because they are twins. Now, preparation of pension papers. You got notes? आपका हाथ में notes है? है ना? You got notes? So preparation of pension papers. To eliminate the delay in payment of superannuation pension and retirement death gratuity, a time-bound schedule for processing pension papers has been fixed by the government with the departmentalization of accounts. The responsibility of pension cases and the issue of pension payment order has been vested with the accounts officer of the department. Thank you. Thank you. So, when I was there in Nagaland, Kohima, 1972 to 75, that time, this order was not there. So this systematic pension papers, preparation of pension papers, there was no such thing. So लोग रिटायर हो जाते हैं, बोरी बिस्तर बांध कर चले जाते हैं, गांव चले जाते हैं, उसके बाद पेंशन केस शुरू करते हैं. So I saw Sthiti 1977 में, when the departmentalization of accounts that came into being, then this thing, systematic preparation of pension papers, so that pension order of PPO, that is pension payment order. Nowadays, after that departmentalization 1977, the pension payment order is issued well in advance, so that the person retiring by the month end, he will be going out with his salary. And the next month, he need not wait. The pension payment order would have been issued and he will be receiving a pension. Last day, he will receive his pay and then retire. And the next month onwards, automatically, there won't be any gap. That is the system. For that, they have issued detailed orders, how the pension case should be processed. There is a computerized online system, Bhavishya. All heads of offices will mandatorily process all pension cases only through Bhavishya. लेकिन अभी पूरा इम्प्लीमेंट नहीं हुआ है. भविष्य शुरू हो गया है, but only in few ministries. The other places, they are manually doing it. But the order says mandatorily it has to be processed only through computer. Bhavishya. An online pension sanction and payment tracking system with effect from 1/1/2017. In this, where necessary, the retiring official will be assisted to submit online application form. अगर मेरे जैसा आदमी जिंदगी में लास्ट फेज में जाकर कंप्यूटर देखा था, पहले तो कंप्यूटर देखा भी नहीं था. So after near about 70% of my career, I saw the first computer. तो ऐसा लोगों के लिए दिक्कत होता है, पेंशन ऑनलाइन ये पेंशन पेपर्स प्रोसेस करके सबमिट करना. In that case, the the administrative authority should extend all the assistance for preparation of pension, filling up the forms, Form 7, etc., 4, 6, 7, etc. In this, where necessary, the retiring official will be assisted to submit online application form. Accounts officers will process cases generated by Bhavishya through pension module in Compact till the public financial management system becomes operational and integrated with Bhavishya. Yeah, Bhavishya system पूरा develop करके लागू करने से तक the office should assist. In any case, pension should not be delayed on account of electronic processing through Bhavishya. Electronic processing, those who are handling, they are also not very familiar. So ऐसा दिक्कत है. So that should not be the reason for delay in payment of pension. In a case or cases where a particular action or activity cannot be performed under the Bhavishya, such activity shall be performed manually. बैंक में करते हैं ना, कंप्यूटराइज्ड बैंकिंग सिस्टम, हर एक काउंटर में एक कंप्यूटर है. आप कहीं कुछ काम के लिए चले जाएं, ड्राफ्ट इश्यू कराना है, then they say the system is not functioning. Then in such cases, if it is happening in the pension processing case, In that case, manually करना पड़ेगा. ये नहीं बोलना है system काम नहीं करता है. Then every head of the department has to prepare. ये अभी याद रखिए, pension cases में this is the only place where the name of the designation of the head of the department comes. Thereafter, only head of the office is involved. This is the only place where head of the department has the responsibility. Every head of the department has to prepare a list of officials by 15th day of every month of all government servants who are due to retire within the next 15 months from that date, and forward the same to the accounts officer concerned before the last day of the month for issue of pension payment order. हर एक महीना में, this month is September. Every 15th of that is 15th of every month, the head of the office, the head of the department will get a list of persons due to retire 15 months from this date. From this date, 15 months के बाद जो भी रिटायर होने वाला है उनका लिस्ट भाई एक बनवाना है. हर एक महीना में नया लिस्ट. Next year, next month, a new list is prepared. That is list of those officials who are due to retire after 15 months. ऐसा एक लिस्ट बनाने के बाद इसको उसी मंथ एंड में, सपोज सितंबर 15 में एक लिस्ट बनता है, सितंबर 30 तक इस लिस्ट को अकाउंट्स ऑफिसर को, पे एंड अकाउंट्स ऑफिसर को अकाउंट्स ऑफिसर बोला जाता है. सो पे एंड अकाउंट्स ऑफिसर को भेजा जाता है. Every head of the department has to prepare a list of officials by 15th of every month of all government servants who are due to retire within next 15 months from that date, and forward the same to the accounts officer concerned before the last day of the month for issue of pension payment order. 15 महीना के बाद जो रिटायर होने का लिस्ट है उसको बनाकर उधर भेजना चाहिए. The purpose is pension payment order, ultimately pension payment order issue karana hai. That for that purpose, because the pension payment order issue karane ka karne ka responsibility jo hai, that is with the accounts officer. So accounts officer should have the information that who are all due to retire exactly 15 months from this date. तो ऐसा एक लिस्ट बनवा के भेजा जाता है. हर एक महीना में ये होता है. 1 year in advance of the date on which the government servant is due to attain the age of superannuation, the head of the office would undertake the work of preparation pension papers, including verification searches. That is, pension papers, sanction of pension ka related work will start exactly 1 year in advance. एक तो लिस्ट बनवा के भेज दिया गया है. That is for a list of those officials who are due to retire after 15 months. Then 3 महीना इधर से उधर लिस्ट गया, उधर से कुछ इंस्ट्रक्शन. ये 3 महीना के बाद, that is 1 year, exactly 1 year in advance, the head of office, hereafter only head of office, that is the list बनवाने का काम head of the department का है. Then 1 year in advance, the head of office will initiate action with regard to sanction of pension. Every head of office will obtain details of government accommodation occupied by the government servant. जो रिटायर होने वाला है एक साल पहले जो भी ड्यू टू रिटायर आफ्टर 12 months, उनसे एक डिटेल मांगेंगे. The head of office will call for details from those officials who are due to retire after 12 months. If you are in occupation of government quarters, उसका details दें. Within 10 days of receipt of details from the government servant, then the government servant, naturally he is interested because the pension case का first काम ये होता है. So immediately the official will supply the details. I am occupying this type 4 quarters, this and that. So he will give the details. Within 10 days, वो आने के बाद, within 10 days, the head of office would send the details to Directorate of Estates at least 1 year in advance for issuance of no demand certificate. वो जैसे वो डिटेल्स गवर्नमेंट सर्वेंट हु इज ड्यू टू रिटायर, उनसे जब डिटेल मिल जाता है, दिस विल बी सेंड टू डायरेक्टरेट ऑफ एस्टेट्स हु इज रिस्पॉन्सिबल फॉर अलॉटमेंट ऑफ क्वार्टर्स and recovery of license fees. Government quarters, government accommodation related sub, that is Directorate of Estates. So उनको भेज दिया जाएगा, requesting them to issue the no demand certificate. In case a government servant had not been allotted government quarters, he shall submit a declaration to that effect. जब उनसे पूछा जाता है, you give the details of government quarters so you are occupying. Suppose he is not in occupation of government quarters, he will send a reply that I have not been allotted a government quarters, I am not in occupation of a government quarter. ऐसा एक लिखित रूप से वो दे देगा. उसके बाद the head of office after verification of records shall issue no demand certificate. तो इसका पास गवर्नमेंट क्वार्टर नहीं है, लेकिन ड्यू टू रिटायर आफ्टर 12 मंथ्स उसको द हेड ऑफ ऑफिस से एक चिट्ठी मिला है, तो तुम्हारा पास गवर्नमेंट क्वार्टर होने से उसका डिटेल दे दो. ये लिख के देता है, आई डोंट हैव गवर्नमेंट क्वार्टर्स. देन द हेड ऑफ ऑफिस विल वेरीफाई दिस स्टेटमेंट इज करेक्ट और नॉट. वो वेरीफाई करने के बाद खुद एक नो डिमांड सर्टिफिकेट इश्यू करेगा, बिकॉज दिस पर्सन इज नॉट इन गवर्नमेंट ऑक्यूपेशन ऑफ गवर्नमेंट क्वार्टर्स, सो there is no due from him in this respect. No separate no demand certificate from the Directorate of Estates shall be necessary in such cases. That is common sense. इसका पास गवर्नमेंट क्वार्टर ही नहीं है, so there is no necessity for writing to the Directorate of Estates. Then the head of office shall divide the period of preparatory work in 3 stages. Pension related वर्क उसको 3 स्टेजेस में बांट के हेड ऑफ ऑफिस काम करेंगे. फर्स्ट स्टेज दैट इज रिलेटिंग टू वेरिफिकेशन ऑफ सर्विस. ये क्या होता है? दिस फॉर सैंक्शन ऑफ पेंशन 2 important things have to be verified. One, qualifying service. Next, emoluments or average emoluments. ये दोनों इंपॉर्टेंट है. सो फर्स्ट क्वालिफाइंग सर्विस कैसा काउंट करना है? दैट इज यू हैव टू गो टू द सर्विस बुक. टेक द फर्स्ट थिंग, वेरिफिकेशन ऑफ सर्विस मींस यू हैव टू टेक आउट द सर्विस बुक. सर्विस बुक में पलट के लास्ट पेज में जाने से देयर इज अ सर्टिफिकेट, नॉर्मली इन हिंदी में एक छापा होता है, रबर स्टैम्प होता है, उसमें service verified for the period from such and such, that is 1st April 2023 to 31st March 2024. ऐसा करके हर एक 1st April से मार्च, 1st April से 31st March, 1st April, ऐसा entire service from the date of joining till this date. Sir, verification, sir. That is this employee has been in government service continuously for this period. Then first may not be from 1st April. First verification certificate जो है, that may not be from 1st April. It could be from the date of, suppose that person joined duty on 12th of June of a particular year. Then 12th June of that particular year to next 31st March. First certificate will be like that. Thereafter 1st April to next 31st March. ऐसा करके कंटिन्यूअसली ये सर्टिफिकेट अवेलेबल होना चाहिए. अगर कहीं मिसिंग पीरियड ऐसा होता है, बिकॉज सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट एम्प्लॉयमेंट इज ट्रांसफरेबल, सो 1 or 2 certificates may be missing. In that case, there are 3 things, 3 situations. One, that certificate was missing for a period. During that period, he was working in that office itself. Suppose he was that certificate was missing for the year 2010, that is 2010 to 11. during that period 2010 to 11 that person was working in that office जिससे रिटायर हो रहे हैं उसी दफ्तर में काम कर रहा था तो it is easy because how this record verification certificate is based on what? Based on the pay bill, and that is regularly uska pay draw kya hota hai. So from there you can verify. So that verification certificate that is missing, you can send it to administration, get that certificate. लोकल है इसी ऑफिस में उस पीरियड में जिस पीरियड के लिए सर्टिफिकेट मिसिंग है दैट इफ इट इज नॉट देयर यू कैन गेट इट डन ऑलवेज यू टुमारो यू आर गोइंग टू बी एसओ इसमें कोई हार्ड एंड फास्ट रूल नहीं रखना है एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन का एसओ छुट्टी पर है इसलिए 1 महीना का छुट्टी है वो पड़ा रहेगा ऐसा नहीं just to go there or send somebody to verify this fellow was actually in service कोई डिसिप्लिनरी एक्शन लेकर उसको डाइस नॉन पीरियड ऐसा कुछ नहीं है कंटिन्यूअसली दिस पर्सन वाज इन सर्विस उसको वेरीफाई करा के यू योरसेल्फ कैन पुट दैट रबर स्टैम्प एंड फिल अप दैट मिसिंग सर्टिफिकेट आप खुद दे सकते हैं कोई पूछने वाला नहीं है बिकॉज यू आर बेसिंग दैट ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ other document, office document. This is one thing. One particular period verification certificate is missing, but for that period, during that period, he was working in our own office. Then you get it done. Number 2, there could be a situation one year a certificate, service verification certificate is missing for a period of 1 year, but during that period he was working in Jammu and Kashmir. He was working in Bombay. In that case, you have to send the service book there and asking them to give that certificate, verify the record, and then give certificate of verification of service for this missing period, because during that period he was working there. They have to give that certificate within a period of a month, within a month. तो नहीं देते हैं, आप एक बार भेजे हैं तो वो नहीं दे रहे हैं, कैसे भी वो सर्टिफिकेट ये सर्विस बुक वापस ले लो. Get that service book and then that is not possible to get a certificate. कुछ genuinely ऐसा होता है. There was a period when the government office, accountant general office in Jammu नहीं, Srinagar, completely burnt out. सारा current record, past record, सब कुछ जला दिया गया है. So in such cases, there is no possibility of getting service verification report with regard to this fellow who had been working there in that office. But now it is not possible for that office also to give that certificate because there is no basis, there is no record available. In such case also, they may return without that certificate. Then number 3, third situation, the official was one particular period, verification certificate is missing. He was not working in this office. Had he been here, then we would have got the certificate recorded. Number 2 situation, he was working in J&K and it was sent to J&K, but records are not available. Or records are available, but reply nahi aa rahe. They are not. Then somehow you get back that service book and get an undertaking from the official himself. That is the third. Get an undertaking. Yes, I was working here. I certify that I was working in the office of such and such in Jammu and Kashmir during that period. And some evidence locally, some evidence is required. Suppose he might have applied for earned leave. He might have applied for house building advance. He might have applied for some warm clothing advance. He might have applied for some other advance for that matter. तो ऐसा कुछ को रिलेट करने का एक डॉक्यूमेंट, सपोर्टिंग डॉक्यूमेंट के साथ उसके एक अंडरटेकिंग लेकर आप सर्टिफाई कर दो. These are the 3 ways that missing certificate could be After verification service official, it is noticed that the pay fixation was wrong. No, this is two different, Babita. One is service, the other one is that emoluments. We will do that. Emoluments का time पर वो देखेंगे. पहले सर्विस को क्वालिफाइंग सर्विस देखें. That is now initiating pension papers. Pension case initiate हो रहा है. तो उसका फर्स्ट स्टेज में सर्विस वेरिफिकेशन, उसमें ये सारा डिफिकल्टी आ सकता है. उसको कैसा करना है ये नाउ आई विल रीड आउट. The service book of the government servants, of all government servants due for superannuation, should be examined to ensure that the certificate of verification of service is recorded for the entire period of service. In case the entry, और एक बात है, आपको आपका सर्विस बुक, ये फंडामेंटल रूल्स, अभी नेक्स्ट फंडामेंटल रूल्स पढ़ेंगे, उसमें सर्विस बुक करके एक चैप्टर है. उस सर्विस बुक में आपके पास भी एक कॉपी दिया होगा. You may be having, in my time it was not there. There used to be only one service book. That copy used to be with the head of office. Now the service book is required to be maintained by the head of office. One copy should be given to the official. So even though one copy is given to the official, the head of office is required to show the service book once in a year to that concerned official. मेरा सर्विस बुक को एक बार साल में एक बार मेरे को दिखाना है. सो देखना क्या है मेरे को पता नहीं. क्या करते हैं, ऑडिट वगैरह होता है ना, टेस्ट ऑडिट. ऑडिट को ये ऑडिट पार्टी बैठता है, उस समय बेटे बेटे इधर आओ, इसको साइन करो. दैट इज यू आर साइनिंग द मिड पेज में आपसे सिग्नेचर लिया जाता है. यू आर साइनिंग द सर्विस बुक to show that you have seen the service book, you have been shown the service book. लेकिन आपको ये पता होना चाहिए what are the things you have to see. You have to see. किसी ने छुट्टी ले लिया होगा. शिव प्रकाश एक है, शिव सुंदर एक है, उसका ये छुट्टी लिया है, लेकिन माइनस मेरा अकाउंट में किया है. ऐसा हुआ है. It happened in my case. 29 days of EL taken by one C Sivaprakasam. That was debited from my account. I am V Sivaprakasam. फिर मेरे को बहुत ही ट्राई करके corroborative evidence दिखाकर मैं उस दिन डायरी करके पेपर लिया था, सेक्शन डायरी देखिए ये है वो है करके, बाद में my account was set right. इसलिए आपका अपना लीव अकाउंट देखना चाहिए. वेरिफिकेशन सर्टिफिकेट है कि नहीं, उसी समय आप देख लेंगे. देन यू कैन गेट इट वेरी इजीली फ्रॉम दैट ऑफिस. इसलिए आपको जब भी सर्विस बुक, आप खुद जाकर अपना सर्विस बुक, यू मे बी, मोस्ट ऑफ यू मस्ट बी वर्किंग इन मिनिस्ट्रीज. अपना मिनिस्ट्री में जाकर सर्विस बुक सेक्शन एक होता है, तो उधर जाके अपना सर्विस मांग कर वो साइन करके वेरीफाई करके साइन करके दे सकते हैं. सो दिस इज वेरी एसेंशियल. यू शुड नो दैट, बिकॉज at the time of retirement it may be very difficult because there is a question of time. ये सारा कुछ कंप्लीट करके अकाउंट्स ऑफिसर के पास भेजना है फॉर सैंक्शन ऑफ पेंशन. टेंशन हो जाता है. इसलिए आपको जब भी मौका मिलता है अपना सर्विस बुक देख लेना. In case the entry of any period is missing and the official had been serving in that office, he shall verify with reference to relevant records and record necessary certificate in the service book. Verification is done every month, every year. Yes. No, every year. Suppose no transfer is involved. Suppose some people join as LDC in office and they retire as SO in that, not only in that office, in the same section. Wonderful people are there. एक मद्रासी होकर मैं 7 ट्रांसफर फेस किया था. इधर से कोहिमा से विजयवाड़ा टू some other place, then Andhra Pradesh, then then लद्दाख, then दिल्ली. इतना ट्रांसफर दे. लेकिन दिल्ली में एक मिस्टर वधवा, JD वधवा था, तो he joined that office, foreigners section. he joined as LDC, he became UDC assistant, section officer, all in that, not only in that headquarter office, but in the same section. So ऐसा भी लकी लोग होते हैं. तो whether you go on transfer or ट्रांसफर में होने से एक फर्क होता है, that complete year का सर्टिफिकेट नहीं होगा. 1st April to, suppose you are transferred in the month of November, 1st April to whatever date you are transferred out, उस टाइम तक. देन उधर जाने के बाद वो ज्वाइनिंग टाइम के साथ वो सर्टिफिकेट उधर न्यू ऑफिस में ऐसा है. अदरवाइज every year that certificate verification certificate is recorded in the same office, even if you continue in the same office. Serving in that office, he shall verify. Suppose the official was serving in that department, in that office for the missing period, then it is very easy, you can get it done. In respect of unverified period of service, a reference should be made to the head of office concerned to verify and provide a certificate for such period on the basis of pay bills, acquittance rolls, or other relevant records. Such a service book should be returned. इसमें एक missing ये चीज है. In case such a certificate is missing for a period when he was working elsewhere, ये है. Such a service book should be returned, endorsing the required certificate within a period of 2 months. If 2 months, if no response is received within this period, such period shall be deemed to qualify. कोई भी ये नहीं आने से that will be deemed to be a qualifying service. If it transfers later that a non-qualifying period had not been communicated, the administrative ministry shall fix a response. Suppose there was some gadbad in that office, लेकिन वो सो गए हैं. When we asked, we sent the service book asking for certificate, they did not. They are not giving any information. Later on, ये पता चलता है that there was something wrong during that period. He was on extraordinary leave or a period of some 7 months, dies on lapata tha, something like that. Then that administrative ministry will take that head of office, जो certificate नहीं दे रहे हैं अभी, that head of the department will take action against that head of office. If the above is not possible, बाहर एक पीरियड का सर्टिफिकेट वेरिफिकेशन नहीं मिल रहा है, उधर से मंगवाना भी मुश्किल है, then in that case, if the above is not possible, the government servant has to be asked to file a written statement on a plain paper within a month, stating that he had rendered this service with a self-declaration that his statement is true, based on which this period will be treated as verified. खुद का सर्टिफिकेट एक मांग के, then on the basis you will endorse the certificate. In case it transfers later that the official had made false declaration willfully, it will be treated as grave misconduct. वो खुद wrong certificate दिया है, later on ये पता चलता है, then he will be taken to task. This process should be completed 8 months before the date of superannuation. कब स्टार्ट हुआ था ये? 12 months in advance. अभी this process, first stage should be completed before 8 months. Then second stage, making good the omissions in service book. That some omission may be there with regard to emoluments. As average emoluments will be verified with respect to pay bills. The average emoluments and qualifying service have to be ascertained to see if there are any omissions or imperfections which would have direct impact on the calculation of pension. If any such omissions or imperfections are incapable of being verified, they should be ignored. तो कोशिश तो करना है, सर्टिफिकेट वेरिफिकेशन नहीं मिल रहा है, उसको पता करना है, उधर से सर्टिफिकेट मंगवाना है. इसी तरह दी एवरेज एमॉल्मेंट्स के बारे में, 1 महीना का सैलरी ड्रायल के बारे में हमें कुछ नहीं पता है, चुआ खा लिया. तो इन दैट केस ऐसा अनवेरिफाइड पीरियड, दैट इज उसका imperfection cannot be cannot be set right. ऐसा स्थिति है. We make all the efforts. तब भी नहीं हो पाता है, then that should be ignored. That is the benefit of doubt should be given to the official. Then third stage, the head of office shall furnish to the retiring government servant at least 8 months ahead of retirement a certificate regarding qualifying service and the emoluments proposed to be reckoned for retirement benefits. 8 months in advance, head of office should give in writing. ये मेरा जमाने में नहीं था. 1972 का pension rules में भी ये नहीं था. So 8 months in advance, head of office should write to the official intimating हम आपका pension case process कर रहे हैं. For that purpose, your qualifying service is this much. Your average emoluments is this much. So ऐसा करके उनको intimate करना है. Generally, the government servant will not have anything to say. In case he is aware of the rules and regulations. So in case there is some mistake, he is entitled to point it out. If the government servant does not accept this, उसका इसमें he doesn't accept, then he should intimate the reasons for non-acceptance within 2 months. 2 महीने में इसको अपना हिसाब से कैलकुलेट करके ये गलत है. I have served 35 years of service. You have shown only 34 and 6 months. हाँ, वो ये this is incorrect. ऐसा करके he can write, but he cannot keep it for pending for more than 2 months. 2 महीने के अंदर ये बोलना है. The head of office should forward to the retiring government servants Form 4, 4 and 6 along with undertaking to the bank in format 9 a common nomination for. ये सारा कुछ forward करना है employee who is going to retire. Form 4, details of family. Form 6, particulars of government servant to be obtained by head of office. Form 7, that is the form, pension calculation form, that is the work of the Manju. Wait, we will come. Emoluments क्या है, salary क्या है, that will come. Then Form 7, assessing pension, that is the work of the head of office. Then Format 9, that is I am to receive pension, that I wish to receive my pension from this bank. ऐसा एक format है, Form 9, undertaking to the bank. So these forms, head of office will forward these forms to the retiring government official, asking him to fill up and resubmit. And there is a common nomination form. पहले एक nomination for Central Government Employees Group Insurance Scheme, उसका एक nomination. Retirement gratuity, इसका एक nomination. और कोई whatever nomination, ये combined nomination form has been prescribed since. So that form also needs to be filled up. And one more form, that is after retirement, I will avail CGHS facility, or I'll avail the hospital facility, or I'll avail only the outpatient service. And no, I don't want any concession from the government. Instead, I will get 1,000 rupees per month, jo allowance hai, medical allowance along with the pension. I don't want any CGHS facility. I don't want any government hospital facility. ऐसा एक form है. उसको all these things the government servant will be provided, and he has to fill up and submit. Fill up and submit not later than 6 months prior to his date of retirement. अभी 6 महीने का पहले ये सब कुछ आ जाना चाहिए. A government servant who leaves service on any other, these are all we are talking about superannuation pension. Suppose there is a case of voluntary retirement or premature retirement. In such cases, these forms will be after that period. notice given by the government servant in case of voluntary retirement, and notice given by the government in case of premature retirement. ये दोनों उससे a nomination was made by government for payment of gratuity may be allowed to submit form 4 and 6 in case in such cases, and suppose the government servant is going on retirement or invalid pension mein, he is not able to write, then the form 6, 4 and 6 can be filled by any of the family members, or family member bhi koi nahi hai, he is going on invalid pension, koi family member is not there, but to receive gratuity he has submitted a nomination form. In that form somebody is there who can fill up the form and submit. Completion of pension papers. The concerned head of office shall complete part 1 of form 7 along with pension calculation sheet not later than 4 months before the date of retirement of government servant. In cases of other retirement, within 2 months after submission of form 4 and 6 by the government servant or his spouse or member of his or her family, as the case may be. So the pension payment order issue करने का responsibility rests with the accounts officer. लेकिन आप अगर actual इसमें देखने से the maximum work with regard to preparation of pension papers is done by the head of office. Head of office मतलब हम खुद, the ASOs, they prepare. Suppose you are in the pension cell, you prepare the all the pension papers. So relating to pension, family pension, and calculation for gratuity, etc. Everything. Form 1, the part 1 of form 7. Form 7 का part 1 को पूरा calculation उसमें होता है. Working sheet एक attach होता है. That everything is done by the head of office, and when everything is complete, along with the service records, the pension papers with all those forms will be sent to accounts officer 4 months in advance. Calculation of pension, gratuity, family pension, and on that day itself, every calculation will be done. When the pension, main pension, family pension भी अगर मर जाता है क्या pension मिलेगा, that all will be there. All calculations will be done in the head of office. And preparation of pension papers should be completed well in advance, and all relevant papers, including the service book of the official, duly completed, indicating Aadhaar number of the official, should be sent to the accounts officer with the covering letter in format 10, 4 months in advance of the retirement. 4 महीना पहले भेजना चाहिए. 8 महीना 12 महीना में इनिशिएट किया जाता है. Then first 2 stage completed in 8 months, and third stage completed in 6 months. Now the pension papers are sent in 4 months, 2 months. 4 months. Before 4 months of retirement, these papers are sent to accounts officer. Of course, 1 copy is retained. Since the pension papers are forwarded to the accounts officer 4 months in advance of the retirement, any event which has a bearing on his retirement benefits occurring during this period from the date of forwarding the papers to papers and actual date of retirement should be intimated to the accounts officer immediately. इसका मतलब क्या है? हम 4 महीना पहले भेज देते हैं pension papers, लेकिन suppose you are sending the pension papers on 1st of May. The person is due to retire on 31st of August, 4 months in advance. May, June, July, August. 4 महीना पहले ऑफ पेंशन पेपर्स सारा भेज दिया, लेकिन 1st जुलाई में इसका डेट ऑफ इंक्रीमेंट पड़ता है. So that will definitely have direct impact on the final pension. वो इंक्रीमेंट देने के बाद वो भी पे बन जाता है, देन उसमें 50% of that increment also will increase in the pay. ये नहीं सोचना है दैट इज 1 मई में जब पेंशन पेपर बना के भेजते हैं, आपको तो ये पता है 2 महीने के अंदर ये इंक्रीमेंट होने वाला है, उसको क्यों अकाउंट में नहीं ले लेते? बट द रूल डजंट परमिट दैट। अगर मर जाता है फिर तो इसलिए 1 मई में जब कैलकुलेट करेंगे, वो आने वाला 2 महीने में इंक्रीमेंट जो होना है उसको अकाउंट में नहीं लेंगे। जब एक्चुअल इंक्रीमेंट सैंक्शन होगा उस समय यू हैव टू इंटीमेट। अगर दैट इज वन थिंग। अनदर इवेंचुअलिटी, सो 3 महीने के बाद इसको प्रमोट हो जाते हैं। ये पेंशन पेपर्स प्रिपेयर्ड एंड सेंट 4 months in advance, लेकिन 3 महीना बाद 1 month prior to retirement or 2 months prior to retirement he gets a promotion, pay refixed. Thereafter the entire thing has to be, then the papers will not be called back. This has to be intimated to the accounts officer. This has direct impact on the pension, so this may be taken into account, so that will be revised there. You understand this? तो 4 महीना पहले भेज देते हैं, तो बीच में जो भी डेवलपमेंट होगा उसको हम इन्फॉर्म करना होगा ये अकाउंट्स ऑफिसर को, तब जाकर वो रिवाइज कर पाएंगे। The accounts officer will exercise necessary scrutiny and issue pension payment order at least 2 months ahead of the retirement. Again another 2 months. तो 4 महीना पहले आप भेज रखे हैं, तो 2 महीना पहले, that is retirement 2 months in prior to the date of retirement, the pension payment order has to be issued to the official. ऑथराइजिंग क्या क्या ऑथराइज होगा? वो पीपीओ में पेंशन ऑथराइज होगा, रिटायरमेंट ग्रेच्युटी ऑथराइज होगा, फैमिली पेंशन ऑथराइज होगा। There was a question. A government servant dies on the date of retirement. A government servant dies on the date of retirement. तब क्या होगा? Date of retirement, that is suppose it is 31st of January. 31st of January में जब मर जाता है, रिटायरमेंट का रिटायरमेंट कभी कभी ऐसा many cases of death on the date of retirement. वो it is a shocking thing for so many people. वर्कहॉलिक बोलते हैं, तो ऑन द डेट ऑफ डेथ दैट इज अ शॉक। कल से हम दफ्तर आना ही एक नशा है, तो दफ्तर कल से नहीं आना है, दैट इटसेल्फ बी अ शॉक एंड ही डाइज। तो क्या होना है? द एंटायर थिंग, एंटायर पेंशन दैट हैज टू बी रिवाइज्ड, बिकॉज द रिटायरमेंट ग्रेच्युटी विल बिकम डेथ ग्रेच्युटी, हायर रेट. Then retiring the family pension, which would have been different, that is now it is higher rate, enhanced family pension. All these things have to be, the pensioner, the person who is going to receive pension, that the spouse, all these things have to be modified. So the pension payment order has to be returned to the accounts officer for revising. Now, the ball is in the court of accounts officer. On receipt of pension papers from the head of office, the accounts officer shall apply requisite checks. सब कुछ ठीक है कि नहीं ये वेरीफाई करना है। Fill up part 2 of form 7. हम तो part 1 भर रखे हैं। Part 1 is very important because that is the calculation of pension, calculation for gratuity, calculation for family pension, etc. So all the details are filled in part 1 by the head of office. The accounts officer has to fill up part 2 after verification. Part 2 of form 7 and assess the amount of pension, family pension and gratuity and issue pension payment order not later than 2 months in advance of the date of retirement of superannuating government servant. 2 महीना पहले पेंशन पेमेंट ऑर्डर इनके पास भेज देना चाहिए. The accounts officer shall indicate in the PPO पेंशन पेमेंट ऑर्डर में अकाउंट्स ऑफिसर ये भी मेंशन करना है, दैट इज द नेम ऑफ द स्पाउस ऑफ द गवर्नमेंट सर्वेंट इफ अलाइव एज फैमिली पेंशनर. फैमिली पेंशनर का नाम उसमें मेंशन होना चाहिए. नाउ सपोज that is why Manju, what is your doubt? But day of death is considered as working day. Yes, उसमें क्या है, उसमें डाउट क्या है आपका? Day of death is working day. That is why everything is revised, because whether he dies while in service or after retirement, he dies while in service. So that has to be. So many things have to be. थोड़ा सा गौर से देखिएगा तो आपको ये पता चलेगा. Your statement is right. The day of death is considered working day. Yes. उसके बाद जो भी you just think over, you will understand. The accounts officer shall indicate in the PPO. क्या है? पेंशन, ग्रेचुटी, इसका अलावा फैमिली पेंशन, ये सारा मेंशन करेंगे पीपीओ में. इस बट he has to mention the name of the family pensioner. The name of the spouse of the government servant if alive as family pensioner. In the case of a government servant whose family includes more than one wife who is alive, the AO shall indicate in the PPO the names of all the wives with their respective share. Suppose दो बीबियां हैं, वो मर गया जो आदमी, तो इनका 2 wives हैं, so 50-50% that the pension payment order should indicate. Suppose 3, because Muslim personal law indicates they can have 3 wives. Then in that case, what is the percentage of pension, family pension that should be paid to each one of them? So that has to be intimated, that indicated. And the accounts officer shall also indicate in the pension payment order the names of permanently disabled child or children and dependent parents or disabled siblings as family pensioners if there is no other member of the family to whom family pension may become payable before such disabled child, children, dependent parents, disabled siblings. There is an order. पहले स्पाउस को मिलेगा. How much you think how much family pension must have been mentioned as 30%. Understand? Why revision? So don't put these questions now. You wait, because we are talking about family pension. I gave an example. In case death occurs, what will happen? So you wait for the completion. This question you can remember and put it to the class at the end. So when you will not raise this question at all, because you will be having thorough knowledge then. Okay. In the case of retirement, no. The accounts officer shall indicate in the PPO the names of permanently disabled persons का भी pension payment order में issue करना है, mention करना है. क्यों? Because suppose spouse is there, she is entitled to receive pension for life. Spouse is not there, the children are entitled to receive one by one. Suppose one child is a disabled child, then what will happen? That is first, second, third, fourth. 4 children are there. The second child is a disabled child. So the BB पहले मर चुकी है. Only 4 children. Then the first child, who is 23 years old, he or she will get pension for 2 years till he or she reaches 25, other conditions को दूर रखेंगे, एज खाली एज को देखेंगे. सो 23 इयर्स का बच्चा जो है वो 25 इयर्स जब तक नहीं बनेगा उस समय तक ये पेंशन लेता है. The other child, another difference of 2 years, 21 years initially, now it is 23 years old. That child will, that is a disabled child. That child will get pension, family pension for two years. When it reaches 25 years, then it goes to pass on to the third child, which is a normal child. Then that is by now, it has become 23 years old, then she or he will get family pension for 2 years. Then वो भी 25 साल का हो जाता है. Then fourth child also reaches 25 years. Now there is no parents left. Now all the children have been paid, they received pension till they reached 25 years. But there is a disabled child in between. The second child is a disabled child. So he or she, that disabled child, got pension up to its 25th age. Our child खत्म होने के बाद, this will come back to the second child, which is disabled. Then that child will receive this pension for lifetime. So that mention has to be there in the pension payment order. The second child is a disabled child. That fact should be there. Suppose there are two children disabled. There are two disabled children. That is the second one and the fourth one. These two children are disabled. Then first child, second child, third child, fourth child, all get their pension up to their 25th age. Other conditions I am दूर रखता हूँ. I am talking about only age. 25 तक first child, 25 तक second child, disabled child. 25 तक third child, normal child. 25 तक fourth child, disabled child. Then it goes to the first disabled child. Second child जो है उसके पास जाएगा. Then it will receive continuously up to lifetime. The fourth disabled child will not get anything. But suppose something happens, that is, that child gets an employment with a pay of 9,000 plus. Then in that case, it will pass on. It will pass on to the fourth disabled child. Then that child will continue to receive family pension till lifetime or the other conditions. If it is a female child, till such time it gets married. Or if it is, if it gets an employment, it earns 9,000 plus, then till that date, it will get that. So, इसलिए that pension payment order में family pension किसको जाएगा? Spouse होने से spouse को, disabled children होने से disabled children को, spouse होने से भी disabled child होने से, that should be mentioned. That should be mentioned in the pension payment order. Then the retirement, in the case of retirement, other than superannuation pension, कोई retirement होता है, then in that case, the accounts officer, after doing the needful, as mentioned in the previous paragraph, issue pension payment order indicating the pension, family pension and gratuity, assess dues and issue pension payment order within 45 days of the date of receipt of pension papers from the head of office. That is, normal superannuation pension में 2 months in advance. In the case of voluntary retirement, premature retirement वगैरह, then from the date of receipt of pension papers, 45 days, within 45 days, that has to be, PPO has to be issued. If the payment of retirement gratuity is delayed beyond 3 months from the date of retirement, and interest at the rate applicable to GPF deposits detriment from time to time will be paid to the retired employee dependents of deceased employee. Suppose 3 महीना डिले होता है, ग्रेच्युटी पे करने में 3 महीना डिले होता है, then in that case, if the delay is for more than 3 months, then the retired employee should be paid interest at the rate of GPF. हर एक साल में GPF रेट फर्क होता है, 8, 8.5, 3, 9 वगैरह वगैरह. So that rate interest should be given to the retiring employee, and that amount has to be recovered from the erring official. डिले किस लिए, रेस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी फिक्स करके उसे रिकवर करना है. नॉट ओनली द डीलिंग असिस्टेंट बट ऑल्सो the supervisory officer, maybe a section officer, but also the higher officer, that is the undersecretary. Sub say according to their pay, ratio of pay that should be recovered. Responsibility will be fixed and the amount of interest recovered from concerned official, supervisor and head of office in proportion of their salary. Then procedure to authorize provisional pension. What is a provisional pension? That is in case there is delay in sanctioning pension. In the normal course, 2 months in advance prior to retirement, that PPO should have been issued, and on the date of retirement, the check for gratuity has to be paid, I mean given. So पेंशन पेमेंट ऑर्डर भी ठीक टाइम पर नहीं आया तो उसमें ग्रेच्युटी का भी पेंशन नहीं है, सैंक्शन नहीं है. सो व्हाट विल हैपन, द गवर्नमेंट सर्वेंट कैन नॉट बी सेंट होम विदाउट दिस. तो इसलिए प्रोविजनल पेंशन सैंक्शन करना है. प्रोविजनल पेंशन, प्रोविजनल ग्रेच्युटी. वो प्रोविजनल बोलने से 90% ऑफ पेंशन तो 80% ऐसा कुछ नहीं है. द एंटायर the 100% pension जो normally pay due होता है, that 100% pension, 100% gratuity has to be authorized as provisional pension and gratuity. In case there is delay in the process of finalizing the pension case of an official due to delay in the department or in the accounts office, and as a result, pension payment order could not be issued in time, head of office shall take expeditious steps on the basis of available records and authorize by the first of the month in which it is due 100% provisional pension and 100% provisional gratuity, withholding 10% of gratuity, addressing it to the official, marking a copy to the accounts officer, which will be valid not beyond a period of 6 months. कोई किसी कारण से पेंशन पीपीओ इश्यू नहीं हो पाता है by the accounts officer, then head of office will have to take action and sanction pension, provisional pension and provisional gratuity, full provisional pension and provisional gratuity, and the order sanctioning the pension as well as gratuity to be addressed to the retiring official. A copy accounts officer को भी चला जाएगा. If information about emoluments is not available, average emoluments calculate करने के लिए अगर information नहीं मिलता है, then the last pay drawn should be taken as emoluments. The amount of provisional pension and gratuity shall be revised if necessary after detailed scrutiny of records. Not only the orders of provisional pension is issued by the head of office, but also the provisional pension has to be drawn and paid to the pensioner in question by head of office. वो नॉर्मल केस में क्या होता है, पेंशन पेमेंट ऑर्डर इश्यू होने के बाद the person has filled up a form 9, format 9. In that he has given an undertaking to receive pension from a particular bank or post office or some other body. Now, he is not sanctioned pension. Only provisional pension is sanctioned. In that case, it will not be received through bank. The head of office has to not only ordering the provisional pension itself is the responsibility of head of office. Not only the issue of orders, but also drawal and disbursement has to be done by the head of office. It is his responsibility. A sanction for provisional pension shall be issued not पहले sentence में ऐसा था, the first of the month in which the pension is due. That is generally you are retiring on a payday. That is last day of the month. तो उस महीना का तो पे मिल गया होगा. Then next month pension मिलना चाहिए. You should start receiving pension for the next month. So first May, that month, first itself, you are expected to receive that pension, PPO or the provisional pension order. Suppose on the first or second or third, it's not possible. Before 10th, it must be issued. The payment of provisional pension should not continue beyond 6 months from the date of retirement. That is, pension payment order that should be issued within 10 days from the date of retirement. Lekin that is valid only for maximum 6 months period. Provisional pension cannot be given for more than 6 months. उससे पहले उसको regularize करके final pension payment order should be issued by the accounts officer. Within this period, the accounts officer will finalize the pension, gratuity, and issue pension payment order, authorizing the head of office for payment of the difference, if any. If the payment of pension made on the basis of provisional pension payment order is found to be less than the entitlement, the head of office will draw the difference and disperse. जो provisional pension order में जो mention किया था, that was drawn and paid during that period, first 6 months का जो है, that was found to be less than his due. जो final pension payment order issue होता है, उसमें जितना pension mention किया है, उससे कम pay किया गया है. So he has to be paid the arrears. So the accounts officer will ask the head of office to draw arrears and pay. On the other hand, if it is found to be in excess, पहले जो दिया है प्रोविजनल पेंशन ऑर्डर में जो इश्यू हुआ है वो कैलकुलेशन में मिस्टेक था, उसको ज्यादा दे दिया गया है. In that case, it will be open to the AO to adjust the overpaid amount out of withheld amount of gratuity or recover it in installments by making short payments of the pension payable in future, whereas if the amount is तो वन कम हो गए तो अरियर्स पे करेंगे, ज्यादा हो गया तो रिकवर करने का द 10% ऑफ ग्रेच्युटी इज विथहेल्ड अनसेटल्ड ड्यूज के लिए. मैक्सिमम दैट इज फॉर द पर्पस ऑफ लाइसेंस फी ड्यू टू डायरेक्टरेट ऑफ एस्टेट्स. बट कुछ और भी अनसेटल्ड क्लेम होगा, वो दैट आल्सो कैन बी रिकवर्ड. सो अकाउंट्स ऑफिसर विल डिसाइड वेदर दैट अमाउंट हैज टू बी रिकवर्ड फ्रॉम दैट विथहेल्ड अमाउंट or it should be adjusted by making short payment. Pension में थोड़ा थोड़ा करके in installments इसको recover करना है. That has to be decided. Suppose provisional gratuity इसमें फर्क है. Whereas if the amount of provisional gratuity is found to be more than the amount finally assessed, the retired government अगर जो ग्रेच्युटी उनको 100% ग्रेच्युटी जो दिया था, दैट इज फाउंड टू बी मोर, उसमें 5,000 रुपीज एक्सेस दे दिया गया है. नाउ फाइनल पेमेंट ऑर्डर का मुताबिक इसमें 10,000 रुपीज फाउंड टू बी 5,000 रुपीज फाउंड टू बी पेड इन एक्सेस टुवर्ड्स ग्रेच्युटी. इन दैट केस द गवर्नमेंट सर्वेंट विल नॉट बी आस्क्ड टू रीपे, उससे रिकवर नहीं किया जाएगा. The retired government servant shall not be required to refund the excess amount actually disbursed to him. In such cases, the officials responsible for the excess payment shall be accountable for the overpayment. As soon as the final payment or pension payment order is issued by the accounts officer, the withheld amount of gratuity will be released by the head of office after adjusting the dues, if any. In case the retired government servant was occupying government accommodation, the withheld amount of gratuity will be released after receipt of no demand certificate from the Directorate of Estates. उसी के लिए तो ये withhold करके रखते हैं. However, the above provision does not apply to cases where provisional pension is granted pending departmental judicial proceedings. कोई किसी के खिलाफ retiring officials के खिलाफ कोई case pending in the department, or there is a judicial proceedings going on. In that case, this provisional pension rule will not be applicable. There is a different provisional pension rule for that purpose. So that we will see day after tomorrow. Okay, tomorrow there is no class. Good night.